feel like NPCs are known for being crazy in Grand Theft Auto games. They were speed demons in San Andreas, and you could practically get them to drive off a cliff in 5. But here, it's a more subdued insanity. On this bridge leading away from the broker district, I always seem to see cars have their rear ends absolutely demolished. To be fair, I'll occasionally see it on some other bridges, but this one in particular seems to invite the most damage. And what's weird is that you never see the crashes that caused all this. It's like the drivers are playing bumper cars, but then they quickly get their act together when the player arrives. At the end of the bridge though, there's almost always cars changing lanes and bumping into each other, that you can usually see. There's something sinister about this bridge that turns NPCs into road rage machines. Maybe that's accurate to this bridge in real life. Maybe the Brooklyn Bridge is cursed and actual people do this too. Oh, welcome to Video Game World Tours. Today, we're going to be exploring Algonquin in Grand Theft Auto 4. We're going to head to the southern side of the island and work our way north, ending with my favorite spot in this space. But first, do my videos make you sleepy? For me they do. It's hard to stay awake while editing these because I so carefully craft them to lull you to sleep. And thanks to this video's sponsor, Manta Sleep, you'll fall asleep even faster. They have a wide variety of sleep masks for every sleeper. I personally like the Manta Sound Sleep Mask. It connects to my phone through Bluetooth and I can listen to whatever I want while falling asleep. The speakers are super nice, adjustable, and it has a 20-hour battery life. Love it. And the mask is comfortable too. It has adjustable eye cups that you can move around to fit your face shape. So get yourself a sleep mask from Manta Sleep with my link in the description, and use code PRETZEL to get 10% off. Sleep tight, and say hello to your sleep paralysis demon for me. Back to the video. At the very bottom of the island, you get to gaze out at the ocean. The water is beautiful, of course, but then we have this sprawling construction zone behind us. Castle Gardens here is very chaotic. There's a ton of empty space to explore across this lot. Construction zones are one of the things I find myself drawn to in these games. I talked about one in my GTA 3 tour. I think the presence of a construction zone in a world speaks to the skill and insight of the world designers. I've never had to plan out a game world like this, but I feel like my first instinct would be to just make it all normal buildings. Bunch of skyscrapers and a few smaller buildings to switch things up every now and then. But the inclusion of a space like this makes the world feel real. It takes the feel of a world from frozen in time to currently in development. Because that's what every city is. There's always something changing about a place. When this project finishes, one will pop up on the other side of town. Things are always in motion in real life, and including a space like this helps convey that in a virtual world. A weird little detail I noticed on both the eastern and western ends of these buildings is that there's a ladder reaching down below into the water. There's not even a dock or anything down there, it's just open water, then boom, ladder. It feels weird. As is customary for me to do with every Grand Theft Auto game that has one, let's go look at a vault. This is a bank you rob during the story. Unfortunately, you aren't allowed back in, the doors are locked. But Nico here has special powers that allow him to just pop right in. Yep, it's a bank. Look at these guys, standing around waiting for service, and they're trapped inside too. I wonder how long they've been in here. You stay out here, I'll go explore the rest of the building and look for food. Here we go. We're going down. Huh, kinda disappointing in here. Maybe they keep the real goodies just behind that door. There's nothing behind it though, so we'll never get to see what's actually back there. So sad. Hey, sorry guys, I didn't find any food downstairs. I'm just gonna go. You hang in there. I guess let's talk about the vibes of the city real quick. It's different here compared to the districts we looked at before. Despite the fact that buildings are taller in Algonquin, it feels more spacious, not quite as claustrophobic. I don't know why it hit me right now, but I'm kinda blown away by the scale of this game. Like, look at all these buildings! I remember thinking when I was younger how cool it would be to be able to enter any random building you come across. Imagine if all of these had explorable interiors. Of course, once you think about it for 10 seconds, you realize that's not really realistic. Grand Theft Auto 4 wouldn't exist in the state it does if every building had a fully realized interior. The game world would have to be a fraction of the size if it had a similar budget, but with every building explorable. Though I wonder if procedural generation would be useful for something like that. In the way that No Man's Sky generates new worlds for you to explore, what if Grand Theft Auto 6 generates building interiors? Like, Rockstar could designate this as an office building, and they'd have a procedural generation system set up to create the interior of an office building. Just kinda thinking out loud there. I don't know if that'd be a good idea or not. I guess creating that kind of system would still take away development resources from the stuff Rockstar is known for, that being handcrafted environments. I don't know, food for thought. The Meat Quarter is a super nice place. First of all, it has this delightful public space. This ground texture, the benches, all this openness, it's so chill. There's a park nearby that's similar. I can't get enough of this aesthetic. Around the backside of the Golden Pier, there's a driving range. No door on the front of the building will let you in, so it might seem inaccessible. Thankfully, there's a little corner with just enough space for you to squeeze through. Cool little spot. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of places to golf in Liberty City, so I'm sure the residents appreciate this. You know me, I love to find long stretches of nothing in games and walk as far as I can. We gotta do it here. Yep, this is what I expected. Though I feel like I'm part of an exclusive club. I'm one of a handful of players to go down here, I bet. Was it maybe a bad idea to walk to the far end of a driving range? Perchance. Grand Easton Terminal is an obvious homage to Grand Central Terminal. I was really hoping I could go inside and see the iconic interior, but alas, Rockstar decided not to model that. So sad. Guess we'll have to settle for just appreciating the exterior. On the second level is a bunch of canopies stretching across the length of it. There's nothing under any of them, but maybe they were setting up for an event later in the day. Or just finished packing up from a previous event. Or maybe they just wanted some shade here, who knows, I don't get it. The western side of the building has a path that reaches partway down it. Nothing to see over here, except for a desert eagle just sitting on the railing. Can't imagine why someone would just leave that there. Or on the other side of the building, down another long and lonely path, there's a gun hiding behind some trash cans. I kinda love the mystery of games like this, where you see a long stretch with practically nothing to populate it. You're either gonna find something at the end, or nothing. When there is something, it's the developers acknowledging that you found a weird spot. Kinda like I mentioned in my GTA 3 tour with the hidden packages. It's a Rockstar-sanctioned secret spot. It's a place they know is kinda out of the way, and they want you to feel rewarded for finding it. But when you explore a spot like that and there's nothing at the end, that's a true secret spot. Even the developers who created this world from scratch didn't think this spot was special enough to hide something. Anything. Not even a health pickup or a plain pistol. It takes a true explorer to find those spots. Like this super narrow space between two buildings. This is a pretzel-sanctioned secret spot. It was made for me. This is my hole. Though I guess you can't hide something in every spot that's slightly out of the way. Once you do that, you kinda take the magic away from finding something in the first place. You need the empty paths and alleys to make the ones that actually have something feel more meaningful. Plus, spots like this, you get to appreciate 100% intrinsically as opposed to extrinsically. There's no in-game reward for finding this spot. The only reward you get is the appreciation you feel from discovering it yourself. And there's a ton of spots like that in this game. Just to the south of Star Junction, this game's Times Square, there's a passage leading you into the subway below the city. I bet not a lot of people really use the subway in this game. It can feel like a bit of a drive to reach the west side of Algonquin from the east side of Dukes, but it's not that far away. Not far enough away to the point where I need to drive to the subway, get out of my car, walk all the way down to the platform, wait for the train to arrive, and then ride it until you reach your destination. Be honest, did you ever ride the trains in this game? And if you ever did you do it more than one time just out of curiosity for what it was like? This is about more than just convenience though. It's about authenticity. Think about it. You have to include subways in your game depicting New York City. You can't just not include them. And you gotta have trains coming in and out of the station to make it feel alive, so people aren't just standing around for nothing. And at that point, why not let the player get on and ride it around town? That's how it came about in my eyes. I seriously doubt Rockstar thought players would use this consistently as a legitimate method of transportation around Liberty City. It's just a world detail that the player can choose to interact with if they want to, for fun. The Civilization Committee complex is a big ol' space. When I was driving by throughout the story, I just kinda glanced at the building for a split second, nothing more. But finally exploring it now, I see that this is a truly sprawling site. It's weird because no mission brings you here. I don't even remember hearing about the Civilization Committee, but much like the Grand Easton Terminal, this is just a place they had to include because of the real-life location, that being the United Nations headquarters. I found this stunt jump on top of the building. Do you think there's a sick jump to make off the top of the real-life UNHQ? Oh, and you're normally not allowed to roam around freely. You get a 4-star wanted rating if you wander in here. So allow me to show off this space so you can see what it's like without having to become an internationally wanted criminal. After all, we all participate in civilization. It's our right to explore this place as we please. I remember coming across this showroom during a cop chase once. My car was beaten up and I was in need of a new one. I just glanced over and saw a showroom with a bunch of fancy cars just begging to be stolen. There are a lot of people sitting in here, whew. Guess they need a break from all the walking outside. I think it's funny how almost all these cars are positioned in just the right way, so you can hop in and drive them straight through the glass. It's like the owners of this business are deliberately tempting you to steal them. Unfortunately for them, I have no concepts of morals or laws, so this is mine now. Central Park. Middle Park. Whatever. Definitely a step up in terms of scale compared to GTA 3. So much space to walk around and just enjoy nature. I imagine this is a nice place to chill out after going on a murderous rampage in this game, which I would never do, by the way. Though the roads could still be bigger. Why do they make these so small in parks? Ah, a lonely little island in the middle of a pond. So quaint. Peaceful. Ignore the random gun lying on the ground. This is serene. And you can even revisit the museum that you go through during one of the missions. I appreciate the fine arts, as well as respect our history. These priceless artifacts have been through a lot to get here, for the viewing public to observe and learn from them. To be preserved for decades and perhaps centuries to come. Is that a ladder? Huh, you can climb up. All the way up it seems, up to the roof. This is neat. To the west is Westminster Towers. These two buildings are unenterable. The middle one, on the other hand, a mission brings you here and tasks you with killing a guy on like the 20th floor. The game flat out tells you to take the elevator. But me? I'm an adventurer, a voyager. I take the road less traveled. Which led me to the stairs. Time to get climbing. I don't know why I chose to do this. I don't know why I'm choosing to do this again instead of just using the footage from my playthrough. There's something about the hike that's alluring to me. When I saw the game tell me to take the elevator, and then I realized the stairs were an option, I immediately thought of Final Fantasy VII. For those who haven't played, it's pretty much exactly this. Take the elevator, like a sane person, or climb the stairs, like an insane person. Only in that game, you don't have to climb 19 floors, you have to climb 59. But honestly, having done both this climb and the climb in Final Fantasy VII Remake, as well as the original, I think this is the worst out of all of them. In those games, you had bits of dialogue with party members to keep you entertained. You could physically see characters getting winded as you climbed further up, and it reflected your tiredness. Here, you suffer alone. Nico doesn't get any more winded the more stairs you climb. And there's no characters to talk to as you go up. Even though you climb a third of the distance, it feels more grueling. And it's not even that special up here. That's the best part. It's just the place you had a shootout before, only it's empty now. But you know what? It's more about the journey than the destination. While we're in the area, we'll check out another explorable apartment building. This is where Dwayne lives. Nice place, I guess. Ooh, he left a space heater on while he was gone? That's not good. I'd unplug it if I could. Sorry, Dwayne. Oh man, the graffiti? There's a lot of that in this game. Man, there's a lot of text. Anything interesting hiding in there? Wait a minute. Claude? Carl? Where is it? Tommy! All the previous mainline protagonists are mentioned in this little graffiti texture. All games I've toured too. Well, except for... Don't worry, Tommy. Your time in the sun will come soon, or my name isn't Pretzel J. Wellington. There's another apartment just across the hall. Apparently this is for one of the police side missions. All I know is that I read on the wiki you can find some cockroaches in the bedroom. I gotta see them. There you are. Such cute little fellers. Just past these towers at the very tip of Algonquin was a quaint little hillside. I don't know, this just kinda struck me as odd. Almost all the other designated nature spots in this game are super well kept. Maintained paths, benches, ponds. It feels like the city put in effort to make these places look nice. This spot, it just genuinely feels like a piece of undeveloped land. I can't even call this a park, it's just a hillside. It feels weird to see a plot of land go unused like this, especially considering how densely packed the city is. You think somebody would be chomping at the bit to put a burger shot here or whatever. But as it is, I like this spot. I'm glad there's not a burger shot here, for the time being. Okay, time for my favorite spot in Algonquin. And yes, this might be cheating a bit, but I'm the pretzel. You're the Pretizens. What I say goes, and that's that. This counts. The Statue of Liberty. Ugh, sorry. Statue of Happiness. Look, I'm just gonna call it the Statue of Liberty. It is completely separated from the islands of the game. And it's not like it's super difficult to reach or anything, but the sheer fact that it's isolated makes it feel more meaningful. And look at all this empty space. It reminds me of the area around the Statue of Liberty in the original Spider-Man 2 when I looked at that game. Though maybe it's just like this in real life. And you know, being on the dock here, I'm reminded of another game where you get to visit the Statue of Liberty, one that I'll have to do a video on someday. Which game could that be? I'll never tell. There is one more spot on this island that I'd like to visit. I'm sure veterans know what I'm about to show off, but everyone else? You're in for a real treat. This is as high up as you can climb on foot, and look, there's even a little t-shirt for you to wear. But this isn't as high as you can go. Just a bit higher up is a ledge you can only reach by helicopter. It might seem uninteresting at first, but if you look a little closer... No hidden content this way. Huh. Well, I have no reason to not believe them. Guess we'll just end the video here. They lied. There is hidden content back here. I'd count a ladder as content. Guess I should climb it. You climb up into the Statue of Happiness herself and... Wow, that's a hell of an Easter egg. Who do you think would win in a fight? The Statue of Happiness here, or the Liberty Lurkers? I'll let you guys duke it out in the comments. Stay tuned for my final GTA 4 tour where we explore Alderney and visit my favorite spot in the whole game. Thanks for watching.